Ladies and gentlemen, last night we witnessed history in the making. Roman Reigns was pinned clean for the first time in just under 3,000 days by Jey Uso. When it happened, I was completely speechless and did not know what to say, what noises to make. I was just sat there gobsmacked. This has led some people to believe that Jey Uso will be beating Roman Reigns for the undisputed Universal Championship at SummerSlam. However, I'm sorry to burst your bubble, that's just not going to happen. Before I delve into this review, I would like to note a few things. First, I have lots of NPCs attacking me in my comments of the latest video I made about Wrestle Talk, and I was right. They are NPCs who cannot think for themselves, and I do have some people in there agreeing with me, so thank you people for having brains. I did say if you come and attack me without doing even the slightest bit of research or just watching my CM Punk video, then you're stupid. If you want to come and actually have a debate with me, I'm welcome to that. And if you want to agree with me, then good for you, you have brains. You are able to think for yourselves, which is great. I'm also considering doing live streams, so if you're interested in joining me for a live stream to talk about some wrestling, let me know in the comments and I will decide over the next few weeks if I'm going to do some streams or not, because I do want to do them. The men's Money in the Bank ladder match. It was a fucking fantastic match. The ending, however, was not. But it's not the end of the world. I know everyone was disappointed that LA Knight did not win. Damian Priest got the briefcase, so that's not bad. Damian Priest is pretty decent now. He's showing some character, showing he can be himself without being generic. So that's great. Damian Priest can do some wonders with the briefcase, and he's eventually going to cash in on Seth at some point. Ricochet and Logan Paul did a spot. It was a Spanish fly, and it went slightly wrong, so I hope they're both okay. They landed on the double tables very oddly, which I noticed on the replay, and it looked pretty brutal. So hopefully those guys are okay. And the match itself, great, just a very deflating ending. Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler versus Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez Gonzalez, whatever her fucking name is these days. If you've been watching me for a while, you'll know that I'm not into the women's wrestling, so I was not really into this match until the ending when Shayna turned on Ronda, which intrigues me a little bit, but again, I have no interest in Ronda Rousey, so I'm not really going to show any interest in this feud unless one of them learns how to cut a decent promo to build a match. Gunther and Matt Riddle. Gunther is still your Intercontinental Champion. It was a pretty quick match. What I'd expect, considering Matt Riddle is not really a serious wrestler at the minute, and from what I've heard about him off screen, I was never rooting for him anyway. I used to love Matt Riddle, but from what I've heard about him, he's a bit of a mess. But take that as you will. Gunther wins. Matt Riddle tapped out, and then Drew McIntyre returned. Yes, Drew McIntyre will not be at AEW All In Wembley. Ha ha ha! That's funny. So yes, the AEW marks can cry that Drew is not going to be at Wembley Stadium. But it was a decent match for what it was, and I enjoyed it. Cody Rhodes and Dominic Mysterio was not what I was expecting. I was expecting Brock to interfere, and this isn't due to reports. Sources say. No, this was just my own speculation. But no, we saw no Brock Lesnar. Cody Rhodes beat Dominic Mysterio clean. Dom was playing the chicken shit heel very well, and it was a very, very quick, reasonable squash, and that was that. Next, we got a segment from none other than John Cena. Yes, John Cena came out to basically put over the UK and say, we need WrestleMania in London, which would be fantastic because this year's WrestleMania, I stayed up until 5 a.m. for night one, and I could not make night two because I was too tired. I don't know how they expect me to stay up until 5 a.m. for the main event. It's ridiculous. I hate it. So hopefully we see a WrestleMania round here in the future. It was interrupted by Grayson Waller, who came out. This segment went way too long. Way too long. I was just waiting for it to end. Eventually, Grayson attacked Cena. Cena gave him an AA, and that was that. Again, this went way too long. The women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Again, I'm not too interested in the women's wrestling, unless it's Rhea Ripley, because Rhea is actually good. She's actually got some character. But in this, again, I was not really interested. I was watching the match, but not interested. And then I was interested at the end with the very creative finish. Io won, and it was a ladder match. That's all I can say. What I will say is, though, Bayley is not part of the Judgment Day. Representing the Judgment Day, Bayley. No. And Michael Cole did something similar after. He said, the Money in the Contract ladder match. So yeah, those were some funny botches, and that was quite entertaining. Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor. There wasn't really any substance to this match. It was very predictable. Damian Priest came out to sort of make it unpredictable, but it was still predictable by the end because the predictable outcome happened. Seth won. Priest cost Finn the match, and there's going to be some tension. So there's some seeds planted there, which is going to continue on Raw. So not only do we have the Bloodline story having multiple seeds planted, but now we've got seeds planted in the Judgment Day storyline, some in the women's division, and they're building stories elsewhere, which is great. And finally, Civil War Cinema. Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa versus the Usos. Now, by the time we got to this match, I was half asleep. I was doing my best to stay awake to watch this match because I was just so tired. It finished by half. I never stay up that late to 11:30. Never. I'm too old for that. Even though I'm only 25, I'm too old to be staying up that late. I like to be in bed by 9 because I'm old. But I stayed up. I watched it, and it was a very good match. Very well thought out. The pace was great, and I was waiting for that ref bump. I said to my friend who I was watching, we gotta wait for that ref bump because I was not expecting the Usos to win. I was not expecting Solo Sikoa to be pinned because he got pinned last time. I was not expecting Roman Reigns to be pinned because it's Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns never gets pinned. So the Usos were gonna lose, right? No. So the ref bump happened. And I thought, right, okay, this is how it's going to go down. Who's going to come out and help Roman and Solo win? No one did, so I thought, oh, okay, they're just going to do it this way. Okay, we'll see how it goes. Roman stacked both Usos. 1, 2, kick out, and then Solo tried to jump on Jimmy onto the tables. Jimmy moved. Solo went through the table. Roman speared Jey, kick out. I believe there was a double spear from the Usos to Roman, and then Jey Uso did an Uso splash onto Roman. 1, 2, 3, and yeah, I'm still getting chills now just talking about it. Roman Reigns was pinned by Jey Uso, of all people. This is one thing that we can say, that Vince McMahon is not a threat. You get all these reports. Oh, Vince is doing this. Vince is doing that. Everyone's screaming. Ah! Vince McMahon would never let, ever, a tag team wrestler, which is what Jey Uso is, pin Roman Reigns, who had not been pinned for nearly 3,000 days and has been champion for nearly 3 years, Vince McMahon would not let a tag team wrestler do that. Vince McMahon would not let a tag team match main event not one, but 2 consecutive pay-per-views and a WrestleMania main event night 1. Vince McMahon would never let any of that happen. So for all these sources say from Fightful Select and whoever else, don't listen to him. They're all full of shit, or their sources are all full of shit. When you see Vince McMahon news, just ignore it. Unless something drastically happens on TV, just ignore it. Just ignore it and enjoy the show, because Vince McMahon had no part of anything in this show. Anything. Now that that review is done, make sure to let me know if you are willing to join me on the live streams. Go and check out my Wrestle Talk Slam video if you have not done that yet, and please watch it with an open mind, even though I was very angry in the video. After you've watched that, go and watch my CM Punk video to get some inner context on the situation. Check out my short about Chris Benoit, which I thought was going to do some good numbers, and it didn't for some reason. YouTube aren't pushing it out. I've seen the impressions, and the impressions aren't good at all. So yeah, please go check them out. Like, subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.